Let's face it, no one ever left home to become one with the crowd. No one ever hit the road without a drive and without a need to succeed. No one, never. Because the whole idea to start on your own is to find your passion, to discover something novel, moving, inspiring, to discover something new and extraordinary in yourself, the idea, and the business you choose to do. Consider a new role. Find an entrepreneur in you. Take risks. Crave for the new. Build new relationships. Find new energy to break all barriers. Become one with your idea, your passion, and belief. Well, since 1999, we have partnered and nurtured more business relationships than any other company. Helping entrepreneurs explore new businesses is not just what we believe in. It has always been who we are. Since Gaurav packed his bags and left off in search of the extraordinary, we have opened and put more businesses on a growth path than anybody else. And the best thing about growth is that it never stops knocking on the doors of successful people. Successful people who are always looking for the right opportunity. We all get a moment with that opportunity. And right now, somewhere around you, right here, there is an opportunity waiting just for you. An opportunity that could lead you on your path for the rest of your life. As franchise Indians every day, everything we do is creating an opportunity for you. Because your growth is our business.
इतना सा फर्क है कुछ होने में और बहुत कुछ होने में। इतना सा फर्क है एक बार सोच के छोड़ देने में और लग के कर दिखाने में। मान लेने में कि जिंदगी ऐसे ही कटेगी और सुबह 4 बजे उठ के सोचने में कि अभी तो बस शुरुआत है। किसी मैगजीन को हाथ में लेने में और उसी मैगजीन के कवर पेज पे होने में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वीआईपी सीट में और उसकी पिछली सीट में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वो जिसका मैदान ही खुला आसमान है वही कल जमीन पर तो था। पूछोगे तो बताएगा वो पंछी ये एक दायरे में सिमटने में और पूरी दुनिया को दायरा बनाने में बस इतना सा फर्क है। इतना कितना है? इतना है या इतना है? जो नापेगा वो जाने कि जहां धरती और आसमान मिलते हैं, नानकुर से दूर, अगर मगर शायद से दूर, वहां भी दोनों में फर्क बस इतना सा है। धरती और 7वें आसमान में फर्क बस इतना सा है। ये एक अंतर प्रेरणा, ये हमारी, आपकी, हम सब की अंतर प्रेरणा है। एक कदम, एक छलांग, एक बाजी, एक गहरी सांस और एक ललकार खुली हवाओं में कि हाँ, मैं बना हूं उन फिजाओं के लिए, कि हाँ, मैं बना हूं उन ऊंचाइयों के लिए जो ऊंची तो बहुत है पर नामुमकिन भी नहीं, क्योंकि मुमकिन और नामुमकिन में बस इतना सा फर्क, धूप छांव में फर्क, बस इतना सा। तो बस चलिए फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया के साथ ये फर्क मिटा देते हैं। फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया।
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us today and welcome to an exciting webinar on Successpreneur. Every week, we bring this webinar to guide the investors on how you can choose the best investment options linked with high returns. The next 45 minutes will be spent on guiding you understand the processes and structures mandatory while choosing the best investment opportunity for yourself. It is my pleasure to introduce our speaker for today, Mr. Gaurav Maria, the man who needs no introduction, the force behind creating business strategies for thousands of the brands, an entrepreneur, author, advisor, innovator, and franchising guru. Mr. Maria is often addressed as the father of franchising as well. Without further delay, I would request Gaurav sir to take over.
Thank you, Kanika, and welcome, friends. Welcome to this very special webinar called Successpreneur. And this is a Tuesday evening webinar which we do live from Franchise India headquarters. Kanika is my colleague, and she's responsible for helping investors who are looking to start and choose the right business. Because choosing the right business is one of the difficult processes. And I'll tell you why we started this webinar. Because in the COVID period particularly, we used to do almost 4 to 5 different webinars every single day. And over 2 years, we got about 500,000 people who attended these webinars, which was very exciting because so many people were interested to start their own business. But the problem was that very few, actually a few thousands only, really took that decision to start a business. So what happened to a lot of these people who were coming to these webinars and why they were not able to do that? Because they were having a lot of fear of doing this business. And this is really a big problem in India because most of the entrepreneurs who really come to us, or would be entrepreneurs, I should call it, are first-time business buyers. They've never done business in their life. So when they come to these webinars, they see different opportunities, they get sometimes confused, or they have a lot of fears that they can lose the money. Now, this is very right because they don't know how business has to be selected, what businesses are right to be done, is the business right fitment for them or for their location. So it's a very complex decision. On this same principle, Franchise India has been working for last 25 years. And friends, you would be happy to know that we are the world's largest franchise solution company, where we helped more entrepreneurs starting their businesses. Rather, we have a line in Franchise India that nobody sells more business than Franchise India. And this is true, that as an Indian company, we are the largest business selling company in the world. There is no other company which would do that. In India, we are available in 94 cities. We operate in 6 countries. Even if people looking to invest overseas, we help them. So if you want to set up your business in Dubai, London, Canada, US, we help them, and vice versa also. A lot of NRIs are now coming back and investing back in India. So this name really stuck to me, which is called Successpreneur. We talk about entrepreneur, but if they are successful, it becomes Successpreneur. So that's the webinar. How can you build a business and make it successful? There has to be a system and process to follow. And I do it this with no obligation. So you can ask as many questions in the Q&A box. There is a Q&A box at the bottom. Just click that and you can answer. Both Kanika and I can pick up your question and try to answer that. My first question to all of you, are you all comfortable in English? So I can continue to English. If you want me to also speak in Hindi, you can just write on the Q&A box so I can mix a little bit Hindi also. Otherwise, I'll continue with the webinar on the English. And my first question, which I will encourage everyone to answer, is give me a little introduction of yourself. Somebody says, only English, both are fine, English, so I'll stick to English. That's fine. So this question, be very honest and give me an answer. 2 questions I will ask. and it will make it very, very interactive. So I will know you, where you're coming from, and I will also be able to understand what brings you here, what is your expectation. Two very honest answers, which I want from you. First, introduce yourself. If you're a professional, write P. If you're a business owner already, you're running some business, write B. If you are somebody who's now looking to change the career, which means that you are no more in your profession or a business, you are looking for a new career, write C. P for professionals, B for business owners, and C for people who are looking for a career change. Just go out and introduce yourself, because then we will make it worthwhile and you will enjoy this webinar because you will get a lot of inputs from there. So Sandeep, welcome. So Sandeep is a professional. Now this is a very, very serious situation. When you are a professional, you're already making money, you have your EMIs, your everything going around, and you are somewhere looking to explore that I should do something for myself. And this is great. In COVID, rather franchising grew because a lot of people were not rightly employed, or I would say not employed, and they started looking for business for themselves. And this is going to be the big thing. And this is how we can build our economy, where a lot of professionals who have experience and become great operators of their businesses and further create employment. So welcome, Sandeep. Great to have you. Rajesh is in career change. Kapil is a career change. Prabhu is a professional. Anurupa is there. And then there is Anshul, who's also a professional. So, and Gargi is a professional. So a lot of professionals daily join. And Gopal is Dhanraj is from Chennai, and he's also a professional. So this is very, very common. We get these two communities big time. You know, people who are in a career change, they are exploring what else they can do. And we get a lot of people who are currently professionals and who are looking for a change. Now, both of them are very, very sensitive. If you've done business, you have some know-how of running a business. But if you don't have, if you're coming from these two, where a professional or a career change, you need to have a very, very deeper look into business, because it can disturb a lot of things. If a business does well, everything is good. We all know you will get a better return on investment, your lifestyle changes, everything changes. But if it doesn't do well, it doesn't just financially impact you, it impacts you emotionally, it impacts you within your family, everything gets impacted. So it's one of the most careful decisions to be taken. It's actually a decision which I call people would take once in a life, twice in a life, maybe 3 times in a life. Very few people are serial entrepreneurs who would do many, many businesses, but most of the people do business once, twice, or thrice. They choose to write the business. It's very, very important, among the top 5 decisions of that. Now, why people are not able to take decisions? So let's go through the first thing. First thing is mindset. Do you really have the mindset to start a business? And I'll start with one question, which again you will have to answer for me. How many of you have a definite date that you want to start your business? Say, whenever you want to really get started, do you have a definite date in mind? Anybody can answer that. If you have a real definite date that, say, 3 months from now, 6 months from now, 1 year from now, or is this particular date, I should be in my business. Anyone can go out and write a definite date. This is a starting point. You know, only I should congratulate Mr. Ziban Kubar Singh, and Rajesh is already registered. So I should congratulate him. He's registered already himself. But most of them explore businesses, but they don't have a timeline for it. So this is the first thing goes wrong. I rather define date, D-A-T-E, I define. It is the discipline you have. D stands for discipline. A stands for accountability. You need to make yourself every day accountable that I am starting my entrepreneurial journey. I need to really work towards it. T stands for training. When you were studying in education, you were trained to do a job. You were not trained to become an entrepreneur. How you train yourself to become an entrepreneur. And E stands for educate yourself on different businesses and opportunities around it. Exactly this process Franchise India follows. We call the DATE process, which means we make you disciplined. You go through a process which needs to be followed. We set accountability between us and our clients, and we work with you to train you to different opportunities and educate you what is the businesses and how the businesses look like. And there are other people also. I should congratulate Sandeep, Dhanraj, and Rajesh. They all are having a definite date. Date is very, very important. This is a starting point. A lot of others who have joined in spending a lot of time. I see over 50 people on the call. They don't have a date in mind. So if you don't have date in mind, you will never achieve it. You'll keep passing. You'll keep exploring, you keep thinking every evening when you meet a friend and look, I want to start something, but it never happen. So if you really want to make it happen, go out and set that date. It might change. It's no hard that you have to do on that, but at least you're moving towards it. It can be your mother's birthday, father's birthday, your anniversary, or anything which is in your mind, and you write it down and say, this is my starting point when I want to start something for myself. This is one of the most important aspects to set the date. Second is, where is your mindset? Is your mindset designed to start an entrepreneurial journey? Is this really happening? And I further define mindset into 5 elements. First is, what is your life goals? Now, you start looking at business, and a lot of people walk into my offices. We have 90 plus offices in India. They walk in and say, give me a good brand which has a good ROI. Now, most of the people don't understand what is ROI. They don't understand. Businesses has 3 ROIs. One ROI is return on investment, which we call return on capital. What is one ROI? The second ROI is return on involvement, how involved you are. And third ROI is return on intelligence, what kind of intelligence, strategic capabilities you bring into the business. So unless and until you understand these 3 ROIs well, you will not be able to even appreciate. Like for a professional, professionals sometimes bring more knowledge and experience than the capital. And they want to find themselves a business which is also their job, where they also get paid by that business what they've been paid outside businesses, right? So they need to have a combination of return on involvement because they're involved. Say I was taking 2 lakh rupees in a company. I want to find a business which can give me 2 lakh rupees as a salary, being a CEO of my own business. So that's very, very important. So how you really choose a business really comes from your life goals. So if you don't have defined your life goals, you don't define what is 3 years from now, what is 6 years from now, what are the major events coming in your life? Is there a big function coming in your life where you need a lot of money? Is there children going to school, into universities, or they need some money? So is your house you need to build, or a marriage which is coming in? So what do you need this money for and when? What is your life goals have to be very, very clearly defined, because if you define those life goals, then you can choose business which can fulfill those. So unless and until you have very much clarity on that, you'll not be working. Second point, risk. What is your risk appetite? A lot of people come and say, give me a great business and which has a highest ROI. I say, highest ROI means highest risk. Would you like to take it? People say, no, I don't want to do it. So if I say moderate risk, moderate return, then they say, yeah, this looks like. Some people come to us and say low risk, lowest risk, and the maybe lowest return, which comes from fixed deposits, lowest risk and the lowest return. But when you are in active businesses, you are on a risk, but you can moderate it or you can go as high as possible. Young people actually don't mind taking higher risk because they want always high return. So be very, very clear about your risk appetite. Then you need to also find out your strategic fitment. What is the experience you coming in? What do you bring in outside money on the table is very, very important. If you don't define that, it doesn't work. So I would say money everybody can bring. Take an example. If 100 people start the same business, would have different results. See what I'm trying to say? If 100 people start the same business, all 100 would have different results, which means if brand and the investment was the only criteria to make money, then these 100 should have same results. The answer is no. These all 100 have different results because what they bring outside the money is the more important part of it. So how you're operationally going to get involved? What is the kind of experience you bring in? Which location you choose? What is the total addressable market in that location? All that pieces pointed out together, then only you can define your strategic fitment to the business model. And finally, what is the purpose and the problem solving this business is going to do? So first you need to really define the mindset. Mindset is very, very important. Where is your mindset and how you're defining your life goals? Once you've done that, then you walk into Franchise India, and Franchise India's team and consultants, which are top class experienced people, they work on what I call the 4-dot strategy. The 4-dot strategy means the first dot is choosing the right industry for you. Now, we are sometimes driven by opportunities which look visibly good to us, but we don't know anything about it. For example, the maximum people buy franchise in food. And I also tell you, most of the failures also happen there. Most of the failures. Now, why? Because it's a very complex business. Food is very difficult, very competitive, low entry barrier. Anybody can enter the food business. You start today, this restaurant next door, somebody would come and open up. So you will continue to have a lot of competition coming in. You're selling the same product and somebody is selling on delivery much cheaper. So it's a very, very competitive structure. So industry is very important to define, and some industries are not meant for everyone. Like, for example, women entrepreneurs, when they come to us, we advise them on businesses which they can complement very well, like early learning for kids, teaching, skilling, any kind of thing which has counseling or a better understanding, being a good listener, somebody who has a greater customer service capabilities, and so on and so forth, do very well for them. And sometimes we have people who have different skills altogether. So you have to really see the skill set, aspiration, and then start shortlisting maybe 3 or 4 industries which you really have to do it. And then we go into analytics on that industry. We understand what is the ecosystem in that industry, what is the major disruption coming in, which are the key players in that market. All that needs a lot of deeper understanding to really shortlist the industry. Like, for example, I have done many webinars on different industries. The last I did was on electric vehicle. Everybody thinks that this is big business, but it has a huge gestation. We all know that electric vehicle is reality. Every car, every moving automobile in the market would become electric. But for the first 2 years, 3 years, there can be gestation. Do you have enough capital to do that gestation? Or you don't have that capital? So one has to really understand this industry from many aspects, and then you shortlist that. Then you go to the second point, choosing the right brand. What brands you want to really choose, and why you're choosing X brand over Y? What is the competitive advantage which you think X is going to give you, what Y is not going to give you? What is the past performance of this brand? How is the vision of the brand? Who's the founders? A lot of deeper analytics have to be done on choosing what brand we want to do. Then we go down to going back to your financial goals. We go deep into the numbers, financial projections, and try to match that with your financial goal or your life goals and say, this are matching or no. Is this business right to give me what I wanted, both by my income and value creation? There are two different things. Income is what you make on a monthly basis, but you're also building value in the business, which you can tomorrow leverage. So that's very, very important. So we define the life of the opportunity. Is this business going to be good as it is for 5 years, or something is going to happen in these 5 years which can change this business? What kind of external, internal risk these businesses have? Sometimes there are a lot of internal risks, which means the processes are not defined. You can lose your team member, then business can suffer. Like, say, for example, you're running a specialty restaurant business and you lose the chef. It has an internal risk. You can lose some people. How do you replace that risk? External risk can be many different risks. It can be an outside competition, policy, structure. Anything can change, which can change the business model itself. So this all would define the third dot. And the fourth dot is understanding your micro market. Where are you going to house this business? What does that market look like? So unless and until we connect these 4 dots, one in sequence, which means industry, brand, your financial goals, understanding the business model, and then getting on to your micro market, understanding what micro market is saying. This really defines what business we want to select. Then once the business is selected, Franchise India team works with you on a contractual and legal terms. What kind of legal terms you need to do? How you really define a contract. India runs on a British contract law. How you put the contract is very, very important. And we have a full legal team which works with you on putting the right legal structure. I tell my clients and say, go through the whole process. Even when you're on the last dot to sign it and you find one point which you don't want to agree, don't agree. Move out of that. There are enough opportunities. Rather, I started my career 25 years back in Franchise India. I was running my other businesses before that. I'm overall 30 years of experience. But 25 years back, I used to feel pain when I used to see companies coming and selling their franchise, and buyer who's actually putting in money has no choice, no thing. So they are actually, it's a seller market at that time. Very few companies was giving franchise, and these companies would dictate their terms. But today, Franchise India has changed that. You can come to my show. Like, my show is happening next month in Delhi, which is the world's largest franchise show. 45,000 people come. So it's my invitation to all of you. But you can come and see maybe 1,000 brands and choose why you should take one brand over it. So it's now a buyer market. It's an investor who's deciding what you need to do that. It's like a stock market. You can choose to buy a equity of a blue chip company, or you can do a small cap. It's your choice. You can make whatever choice you want to do, depending on the risk appetite you have, interest you have, passion you have. Depending on that, you can make a decision. So Once you have done that, we work with you on contract, we work with you on your legal structure. It's very, very important, and it's a complex process. Don't bypass it. And a lot of times brand owners will tell you, oh, your contract is just for signing. We don't have to look at it. You look back contracts. There are disputes which happen. There are complex situations happen. If you want to exit that business, is there a provision for it? You want to sell that business, is there a provision for it? You want to sell equity of that business, is there a provision for it? There are so many complex positions which are not done by average lawyers because they overcommit themselves, right? So most of in India, they bring their own money, and sometimes they borrow on higher interest, and they both are wrong. So you have to use what I call the 60-40 principle. 60-40 means if the business require 100 rupee investment, 60 should go into your capex, initial investment, which is your capital investment, and 40% should remain with you with working capital. Because most of the businesses I have seen, rather 70% of businesses which have closed, they have not closed because the founder was not hardworking, idea was not great, the business was not rightly located, the business was not good. It closed because it was undercapitalized, which means that you are never having enough capital to run that business. So you have to be very, very clear how you capitalize your business, and don't over leverage yourself. I see people borrow at a 24% interest rate and try to run a franchise business. You'll never make money because you have so much of cost of capital. Rather than leveraging yourself to take a bigger business, go for a smaller business which you can really fund from your own capital, or you can take a lesser interest area, or your equity to debt ratio is manageable. So try to be very, very balanced. Don't over stretch yourself. Once you have funded your business, divide your entire business into 3 stages. First stage is incubation stage. You need to incubate the business. Don't rush into just going out and creating a lot of noise because you got this business, right? You don't know that business. You just invested and started. You don't know that business. You need to know everything about it. So I normally would advise that do a 6-week structure. Divide 6 weeks into 6 different processes, and each week you fix one process of that business. If the business has 6 different processes, so run 1 week, one process, master that. After 6 weeks, you exactly know how your marketing would run, how your sales would run, how your business model would run, how you would do hiring of your business, everything you know about that business. So that's your incubation stage. Once incubation is done, it goes to the second stage where you start growing your business. You want to grow that business. This is the most exciting part of an entrepreneur journey, when they grow the business. And third is sustenance stage, where the business is now sustained, which means that it can run without you. The day that business reaches that point where it can run without you, you have built value, which means that now you can sell that business for profit to somebody else. And this is smart entrepreneurs do. Smart entrepreneurs always know when to start, and they also know when to exit their business model. So friends, I wanted to really share this journey with you. I wanted to take you through the whole cycle of how you choose business. Franchise India represents over 1,000 companies exclusively across India. These companies are represented by us. These are large corporations, mid-sized companies, a lot of interesting startups, technology companies, different industries. Today we have about 150 to 175 different industries, sub-industries, and so forth. But these are not, all businesses are not good for everyone, right? From smart technologies to classic businesses, we have everything available. So reach out to Kanika. She and her team would reach out, maybe all of you, and whoever is interested to set up maybe a detailed meeting. It's a no obligation meeting. You will meet our teams, understand our teams, and they would give you overview about the brands we have, representation of structure. If you feel that you want to go the journey of entrepreneurship, then I would strongly advise, we have an Advantage program. Advantage program is exactly what I did and explained to you, that we take you stage by stage before you make a decision to do that. Even if the decision comes back and say you're not ready at this stage to take that call or starting, it's actually a good call, because you will save a lot of investment you're going to do. So I always advise that rather than repenting on what you have invested or you've taken a wrong decision, it's always to take the right informed decision to start that. So we have a methodology. We have methodology on first giving you a lot of information. The information comes to you. We share all the brands. Say you start a membership program with Franchise India, we will give you, there is no limit. You want 100 brands to be shared with their deck, their information, their financial model, their commercial terms, everything would come to you like a click. So all that comes to you. So you have more intelligent, you know a lot of brands. But the second stage is more critical, where you need to sit with our consultant multiple times to do the evaluation. What is right for you? What all the things I told, the 4 dots I told. So that's the evaluation stage. Once you evaluated and you shortlisted maybe 3 or 4 businesses which you look interesting and you can afford them and you can run them, you're confident about them, then you go to the third stage, which is a negotiation. How you negotiate a right contract, negotiate the right pricing, right structure, and so on and so forth. So this is a cycle of investment cycle. Never bypass this whole process. This we have mastered over the years. Over 1 lakh people have taken businesses through Franchise India, which is the largest number in the world done by any consulting firm. So we have a lot of experience. We also know what not to do because we also done a lot of mistakes. So now we are very conscious. And I should also tell you with proud that we are an investor-centric, franchise-focused company. So which means everything and anything we do is around our investors. And we don't tell them to rush. They need to go through different businesses. Rather, sometimes people come very clear that I want this particular brand. I say, only why you have chosen one brand? Why have you not looked at other opportunities available in the market? And even if you come back after looking all the opportunities to the same brand, that's all right. But at least you gave yourself chance that I want to explore other opportunities which are available in the market. So friends, thank you very much for joining this Tuesday evening. I hope I was able to give you some insight. But more importantly, I will start it from one point and I will end with the same point. Set your date of entrepreneurship. What is a date you want to get started on your business? Thank you very much. Also, I think Kanika has put the hotline numbers. These are business hotline numbers. Immediately, if you can send your contact on the business hotline number, we will make sure by the end of the day, somebody would give you a call and get started talking to you. The number is 971-76-83838. I will again repeat, number is 971-76-83838. So this is a series which we have started. This was the first day, which is a Successpreneur first day, which we are going to talk about a little journal. Now from next Tuesday, we will start working on different industry input also. So I will take one industry, add 15 minutes of that industry also, and talk about that industry in specific, while some content would be repeated, which means that we will talk about the whole process, but and then 15 minutes on a specific industry. We also do regular shows, which is a Bharat franchise show, which is a big series. We also do a business opportunity over chai, which is our part of our franchise TV, which happens 12 o'clock every single day. We represent a lot of great opportunities every single day. So friends, there is no shortage of opportunities and businesses. There are enough and more businesses which are available. What is needed is a careful decision, because this decision can impact your life both ways. Good way, it can really build your lifestyle, build your career, great career, your everything around which you want to do for your family. But if it doesn't go right, it should not be done. But if it doesn't go right, it can impact a lot of things. So let's collectively work towards making the right and a strong decision. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining this webinar, and please send the message on the business hotline number 971-76-83838, and keep coming back to Franchise India webinars. Thank you very much.
Thank you everyone for joining today's, and we are closing.